Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is just about to hit this important Fibonacci level on the price chart after Michael Saylor just announced that MicroStrategy not only bought over $4 billion worth of Bitcoin, but is also potentially about to buy another nearly $2 billion worth of Bitcoin coming soon, while in the short term, Bitcoin is now breaking out from this price pattern and also just starting to break out above this important area of resistance here in the short term, which could possibly cause another short squeeze coming very soon. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just before we take a look at the Bitcoin charts today, we need to talk about the Bitcoin news today, because just yesterday, we finally saw another net inflow into the spot Bitcoin ETFs just on Monday. And so obviously this is a turnaround to what we saw last Thursday and Friday, which were net outflows. And so, of course, this is some good news to pay attention to right now for the price of Bitcoin, with a net inflow of over $250 million coming into the Bitcoin ETFs just on Monday. And so if this continues, if we keep seeing these net inflows into the spot Bitcoin ETFs, then that will ultimately force the price of Bitcoin upwards over the long term, as there will ultimately be a supply squeeze. Basically, there'll be less and less Bitcoin available to buy as there's more inflows coming into the Bitcoin ETFs if we continue to see these net inflows. So this is good news here, what we saw on Monday. And not only that, of course, Michael Saylor just announced actually yesterday that MicroStrategy bought a massive amount of Bitcoin. This is actually their biggest purchase that they've ever made, and they've already made some very large purchases in the price of Bitcoin here. And so this latest purchase by MicroStrategy, which by the way was just announced basically just as I recorded in my last video, so it didn't make it in my last video, but this did come out yesterday, and MicroStrategy bought nearly 52,000 Bitcoin, more specifically 51,780 Bitcoin for around 4.6 billion US dollars, and they bought that Bitcoin at an average price of around 88.6K. And so with this latest purchase, this brings the Bitcoin holdings of MicroStrategy up to 331,200 Bitcoin, which they acquired for around 16.5 billion. But now that Bitcoin's worth much, much more than what they actually basically used to buy it with. And so MicroStrategy is just one of the big buyers out there, but right now is continuing to buy massive amounts of Bitcoin. And not only did they just buy $4.6 billion worth of Bitcoin, nearly 52,000 Bitcoin, Michael Saylor just announced that MicroStrategy will be proposing another private offering of nearly $2 billion worth of convertible senior notes of MicroStrategy. And so in other words, MicroStrategy under Michael Saylor's leadership is raising another 1.75 billion US dollars via convertible senior notes. And they're essentially going to use this money, if history is any indication, they're going to use this money to mostly buy Bitcoin. Because if you're new to crypto, new to Bitcoin, Michael Saylor pretty much gets any dollar that he can under MicroStrategy to buy Bitcoin. So it's very likely that most of this will go into buying Bitcoin. So even though they just bought $4.5 billion worth of Bitcoin just recently, they're likely about to buy another nearly $2 billion worth of Bitcoin coming soon. And so obviously with this massive buying pressure coming in through MicroStrategy, this will ultimately push the price of Bitcoin much, much higher. And a lot of beginners into crypto make the mistake of thinking a $1.75 billion purchase of Bitcoin raises the market cap by just $1.75 billion, but that is definitely not how it works, because the market cap of Bitcoin is determined by the price, not the other way around. So we work out the market cap by looking at the price and timesing it by the supply, and then we get the market cap, not the other way around. So $1.75 billion worth of buying pressure can easily raise the market cap of Bitcoin by $50 to $100 billion, if not more. And so, like I said, with this huge buying pressure coming in through MicroStrategy, and this is just one player in the market that's buying massive amounts of Bitcoin among many different players, like the Bitcoin ETFs also accumulating more and more Bitcoin. Ultimately, this will force the price of Bitcoin to the upside, as there's a limited amount of Bitcoin to go around with all of this demand. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin charts today on the weekly time frame, we're still playing out this huge bull market signal. And like I've been saying here on the channel, this will likely continue to play out for potentially up to a year or so. And it's already been playing out over the last 2 months, give or take, pretty much perfectly, as you can see. And so despite what happens on small time frames, whether we see a slight little pullback here and there on small time frames, when we're zooming out looking at the bigger picture, things are looking very, very bullish right now, and this will likely remain the case well into 2025. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, we're still seeing a massive amount of bullish momentum in the weekly Bitcoin MACD. And the last time we saw anything close to this, we saw a huge bull run in the price of Bitcoin for nearly half a year or so. So once again, it's only been around a month, give or take, since this bullish signal confirmed, which means we're likely going to see many months worth of a bull run in the price of Bitcoin. And if we're taking a look at this 4-day Bitcoin chart, of course, this super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bullish market. So like I've been saying, on the larger time frames, things are still looking very, very bullish right now. And if you want to trade these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto to maximize your profits in crypto during this bull market, there is BitNex, which is one of the top crypto exchanges out there. And I'll leave a link to BitNex below this video. And by the way, it's a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from the US or the UK, for example, or basically any country around the world without needing KYC. And if you use the link below this video, you can get up to a 5.5k deposit bonus. And only if you use that link, you can get an exclusive 10% discount on all trading fees on the BitNex exchange forever. But that's only available if you use the link below this video to make your BitNex account. And also, if you click that link to make your BitNex account, there's a Win BTC tab right here, which basically is a one Bitcoin giveaway just by trading crypto on BitNex using the link down below this video and making a deposit using that link. That enters you into this trading competition where essentially first place is one whole Bitcoin. So if you want to win a whole Bitcoin potentially just by trading crypto, check out BitNex link down below. But as another option out there, if you don't want BitNex for whatever reason, there's also Bybit, which is a KYC exchange, but I'll leave a link to Bybit down below this video, which also has a 500 USDT position airdrop, which you can claim using that link. But with that being said, taking a look at this 3-day Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is getting very close to hitting this 1618 Fibonacci extension, which is sitting at around 94 to 95,000 approximately. So in the short term, that could potentially act as a bit of resistance, so pay attention to that level. But if we could see a breakout above around 94 to 95,000, in that case, we're likely going to head beyond $100,000, likely up towards around 102,000, which is this 1618 Fibonacci extension on the weekly time frame, once again at around 102,000. And then once we can break out beyond 102,000, then we can start looking towards around 113,000 as this 2618 Fibonacci extension on this 3-day Bitcoin chart. And so once again, the immediate price target right now is at around 94 to 95,000. And then after that, we can start targeting around 102,000. And then after that, we can start targeting around 113,000. And if we're zooming into the short term for the price of Bitcoin, taking a look at the 6-hour time frame, we are now breaking out to the upside from this horizontal triangle pattern, also known as a symmetrical triangle pattern, which is of course bullish. And this sets up a bullish price target for this breakout pattern, which that price target is sitting at around 96.8k, so just underneath $97,000, which from the point of the breakout to that price target was a possible 6 to 7% move to the upside, or from the current price as of recording this video to that technical price target, that's still around a 5% move to the upside, which could be a possible trading opportunity here in the short term. But we also have to remember, we cannot forget that between the current price and this price target close to 97k, there is that potential point of resistance at around 94 to 95,000. So even though we have a price target at close to 97,000, we cannot ignore resistance. And speaking of resistance, we are possibly breaking out above some key resistance here on the 2-hour time frame, which is this area in between around 91,500 to 92,500, because as of recording this video, we're seeing an increasing amount of demand. We're seeing higher lows in the price of Bitcoin, while the resistance is basically stationary. It's not moving. It's just a horizontal area on the price chart. And so, like I said in my last video, if this continues, if we continue to see these higher lows and horizontal highs, ultimately, eventually at some point, this will force a breakout as the buyers will ultimately buy up all of the sellers in this price range. And so for now, at the time of recording this video, the price is still somewhat struggling in this area of resistance, as we can see right here. But once we finally see a confirmed breakout above around 92,500, then we can start flying here in the short term up towards some of these higher price targets. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, we have a major area of liquidity just above the current price, sitting in between around 92.8k to 93,500 approximately. So essentially, once we can start breaking out above around 92,500, above this resistance, then we have a lot of liquidity in this price range right here, which means if we break out right here above this resistance, that will potentially start a short squeeze, as a lot of short positions would get wiped out if we break this region on the price chart, which can send the price much higher. And so those are the things that I'm watching out for here in the short term, the points of resistance and support in the short term. And also this line of support, by the way, is sitting at around just above $90,000, around 90.1k. If for whatever reason we see a slight little rejection again from this resistance, I would expect support at close to 90,000, and also some supports at these horizontal levels closer towards around 89,500. And once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.